Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're on sharing information about our upcoming book launch, Your Voice is Power. We have another one of our authors coming on, so let me just bring her on live. Good evening, Naya. We are live. And so we're excited that you were able to join us and come on this evening to share your story, your journey of becoming a co author for this book project. Um, the book project is coming up April 23rd. April 23rd from 3 o'clock to 6 p.m. We'll be signing books, sharing with our family and friends, and those of you who would join us on that evening to come out and celebrate this a time where women who had not authored a book and some who have authored a book have come together to share our stories of empowerment, of finding our voices and allowing our voice to have power, not only in our lives, but in the lives of others. And so we're excited about it. And I want to hear from some of the women this evening on what did it take for you to say yes. You may have seen a post. Maybe I contacted you personally, whichever the case, what made you say yes to being a part of this book project? We'll start with Serena, and then you guys can just chime in as we go along this, along the square here. All right, Serena, you can get us started.
Sure. What made me say yes? I believe we've just met. So
Hmm.
and I love that. I love meeting women that are on this journey of healing and on this journey of just being better than we were yesterday. That's all we can really do.
Right.
I was able to take part in your self love and your self care conference. And immediately I was like, yeah, this is, this is something that's so needed. This is something that we don't do. We don't take that time out for ourselves. So then a few weeks later, maybe a month later, I we connected. Our birthdays are in the same
Mhm.
month of March. So that's always, I love the month of March. I celebrate all month. I saw you celebrating all month, and I did see the call to action. And
Mhm.
that's what I say. This is a call to action. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about literally saving lives.
Right.
Um, the work that we do, that I do as an advocate, I had lost my voice for many, many, many years.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't know what to do or who to turn to. I thought I was alone. I thought, only this could happen to me. Everybody else's lives were perfect. They were in great relationships. They had great relationships with family. But as I grew and as these years just kind of flew by,
Mhm.
I found that so many of us are going through some of the same things. We
Right.
don't have to do it alone. I
Mhm.
wish there was somebody saying your voice is power back, 10 years ago.
Right.
We didn't have that. And I was looking for it. So when this opportunity came up, it was kind of like a call to duty. Like
Mhm.
somebody can relate to my story. And I'm looking forward to hearing the other ladies' stories. And I'm sure, we tend to relate. I always say we're much more alike than we are different.
Mhm.
And we have to find those commonalities. We have to find where we can connect because you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to feel alone. We can
Right.
get that from others. So that's why I said yes.
Awesome. I'm excited. Like you said, we had really just met, and I met you through um, the prenatal organization, and so that's how I first met you, is through that organization. And so when we go outside of ourselves, we're going to connect with people that are like-minded, and so that's an amazing thing when we step out of ourselves and begin to connect with other people. Thank you for sharing. Cassandra, let's hear from you.
As I stated at the last live that we did, I was notified by my daughter that you were doing this for your birthday and my birthday as well as in March. So I wanted
Okay.
to participate in that.
Right.
I had always wanted to write a book. I had put it on the back burner because I have something else in store that God is going to bless and see me through next year with. So I took a chance, stepped out on faith and said, can I do it? Yes. I'm glad that I did. I knew you personally for many, many years.
Right.
So, you know, there was trust there with that. And as Serena said earlier, it is a call that you have to answer to. Sharing my voice as a psychotherapist as well will give people an option to see me, hear some of my story, the things that I experienced, and how I help my clients to find their voices now.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Who else do we have on here? Sharon Austin, let's hear from you. Why did you decide to connect to this book and what has it meant to you so far? You're muted, Sharon.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm having all the technical difficulties over here, but for me, my story definitely echoes the other ladies. Writing is something that I've always done, and I have so many books that I've written and done nothing with. And it just so happens that this was really an answer to a prayer, because I wrote this story some years ago for a different project that didn't happen. And I was just really thinking about my calling and my purpose in life. And the one thing that I firmly believe is that if we can tell our stories and our experiences as middle-aged women and older women of things that we've been through, then somebody else won't have to travel that road that we had to travel. They won't have it so hard. And so I was telling God that I really wanted to share and I really wanted to walk out my purpose. And then lo and behold, you put out that call for this book. And I knew it was God telling me to go ahead and add. And I was even kind of toggled back and forth with it, like, I don't know if this story is for that, but you know, it ended up definitely being for it, and I'm excited to be a part so that I can help share the power in my voice and how I got here. You know, it's a learning process, and again, being a help to other people is a purpose that we all have to fulfill. So.
Did you have challenges? You
Oh
know,
my.
from the
Yes, I had to re-script the book a little bit from how I had written it for the previous project. And you know, sometimes we write like we talk. And so I needed to really rethink how I would approach telling a story and make sure that I was telling it in such a way that it could be received by anybody. So that was my struggle. And then I definitely had writer's block a few times, but just, you know, digging in and the help from, you know, you guys got me through it in time. So.
Awesome, awesome. I want to hear someone tell about maybe a struggle you had with actually writing out your story, reliving it. Did you go back and relive that story, and then emotions that you experienced back then come up?
Well, for me, listen, there were definitely tearful moments in going through and even through the editing process of it. Just thinking back to what I experienced and what would have happened if I would have stayed there in that moment. What would have happened if I wouldn't have pushed through and believed what I believe now. And it took me back to that place. And then it also made me reevaluate some of the things that I've come up against later in life. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have to always remember to go back to that moment and draw some strength from there. Because if God did it then, if it worked for me then, it can definitely work for me now.
Definitely, those are some words of wisdom for others to hear, that when we go through things, we got to remember what God already did, how he already brought us through. I heard Pastor Burns talk about receipts. Yeah, I have some receipts of the goodness of God, and we've got to pull on those things, even in difficult situations, in hard times. We've got to remember, if he did it before, then he definitely can do it again for us. Thank you for sharing that, Sharon. Naya, tell us something about what you've experienced during these weeks of us creating this book launch?
Going back to this particular story that I decided to write about was, in a way, it was very therapeutic for me because there were certain aspects of the situation that I didn't realize I didn't deal with.
Mhm.
So going back and putting myself back in that position, back in that situation, um, it made me deal with it and actually realize that if it wasn't for that particular situation, I probably wouldn't be the woman that I am today.
Okay.
So yeah, it was very therapeutic in a way.
Okay. Any difficulty, um, one deciding to finally write that particular on that particular topic, or fear rising up because I'm about to write this topic?
It actually was because for so long, like I've never told the story
Mhm.
because I didn't want people like to I didn't want anyone to judge my mom
Mhm.
or to, look at her in a different way or whatever because of the situation. So it was I was hesitant about writing about it,
Mhm.
but God had put it on my heart for so long that I needed to get that story out.
Mhm.
And I never knew what way he would want me to get it out. So when you put out the opportunity for this book, I'm like, okay, this must be that way that God wants me to get the story out.
Awesome. One thing I was able to do is sort of sample everyone's story a little bit in the beginning. Minister Pfeiffer was definitely a big part of the editing process and reading the stories. And so it's just, we're going to hit many different women. You know, we can find multiple women in the various stories that we share, and they're different. Everyone doesn't have that same experience bringing it to the table. And so I'm excited that it's huge, is vast. It's not just one particular topic, but it's many topics to reach many women, and that's really great. And so I'm grateful for you all taking the call, being serious about it, asking for help. That just warmed my heart. How it wasn't so, I got to keep my story to myself. It was, no, can you read this? Does this sound okay? Do I need to move this here or put this there? So it really was a co-author project because we worked together to bring the stories to life. And thank you, ladies, again. And now, just thinking about the launch, I want to hear what are you expecting from the launch? Are you promoting it? Are you sharing it? Dormika, let's hear a little bit from you.
Um, I am so excited because as me and you have talked previous times at the best church that it is, Jericho.
Yes.
Um, I am very I'm a shy person. I'm shy. And once you got done with me, I felt like that I can do anything. I felt like that I can go ahead and with my voice being powerful, I felt like that, okay, I can do this. I got this. And by you being in my corner and pushing me, it just made me go on with the process. And I'm very excited. I mean, you brought something out in me that I always knew I had, but by you just pushing it and pushing it through, um, it's there. And I have a story to tell.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed.
All
I
right.
and I thank God that you thought about little old me and the rest of us to put us as co-authors to for people to hear our story and Lord's will that our story will reach and it will help
Mhm.
people that are going through, have been through, or if they're going through right now in this season, that it will help them get through. So I'm excited about what God is doing. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Awesome. Awesome. And so as we're promoting this book launch, it's one thing to share a post. It's another thing to make it personal. And so if you're watching this today and you're supporting one of these fabulous women on this platform today, make sure that you give them a shout out. Tag them in your post when you share it. Let others know you want to be here. You want to support them. If this is your friend, your coworker, your wife, your sister, any of those things, make sure that you're shouting them out. Share it on your stories, share it on your page, share it in different groups that you're in. Let people know that women are out here doing great things. And it's not just a selfish thing, it's selfless to tell something personal about yourself. We're allowing other people into a vulnerable place in our lives so that others can be healed, others can be delivered, others can be set free. And so, is there anyone here on the platform today that has any closing words, anything you want to share with those who are tuning in this evening?
I wouldn't mind.
I'll share. I just want to say that I love the name of the book that we chose to use, and the one thing that's very powerful is being able to come together with different women from different walks of life that I don't even know everybody personally, but now I've been able to create a connection with those women, and I think that's the purpose of the book. And if we can get other women to see that there's power in being unified and being able to come together and work with people from all walks of life, then we'll be able to strengthen so many other, not just women, but people all over the world. So I hope that that is something else that people draw from this project and us coming together.
Awesome. Awesome. Anyone else?
I wouldn't mind sharing a little something to end. Originally, I'm like Sharon, I had this kind of prepared for a different project, and I did not use my real name. I wasn't ready. So literally, this is getting a voice right now. I tweaked it and did some things to it, but I feel like I have gained a voice. And when you collaborate with other women, just even in the community, a lot of us are leaders. A lot of us are doing work that is absolutely amazing. And we're caregivers and we're taking care of families and we're taking care of others. People think, oh, you got everything, you've never been through anything, but we have. And we don't, they say you don't look like what you've been through. It's truth. There's some truth in it. I believe in the butterfly and that transformation where you can grow no matter what it is that you're going through and what you've gone through. There's something bigger and better out here for you. We do not have a punishing God. If we didn't go through some of the things that we went through, we wouldn't be here today able to say, I understand. I know what you're going through. And really, really not just books. We understand and we can relate to some of the things that others are going through. Like, this is a transparency that takes courage. It takes courage. These women are so brave, and I feel very honored and excited to be a part of this book, and I can't wait.
I know I'm excited as well. And when you were talking about the transformation, when I was writing my story, I started with several different ideas until I ended up with the one that I was going to share. And in finding and finding that one story, it took me back to where things actually started in my life. And so not only was I able to uh, go back and remember and experience it, I was able to get some healing from that I hadn't gotten yet because I didn't even realize that I needed it. Isn't that something? And so I know as others read these stories, they'll be blessed. They'll get some awareness of situations in their lives that they can overcome because we were able to overcome. And as we close out this time today, I just want to remind you about the book launch. It will be April 23rd from 3 to 6 p.m. at Jericho Church Without Walls. The address is 8086 North 76th Street. We'll be there. We'll have books available. Some of the women, if you're following, you'll see they may be doing pre-sales. Make sure you take advantage of those so that you can just come and pick up your book. Otherwise, we will have books for sale at the launch. And as we close out, share, like, invite somebody, let them know that this project is going on, and that is a great opportunity to share support in the community, a way for us to get the word out, a way for us to cause healing and deliverance in the lives of others. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching us live. Go ahead and put in the comments. Hey, let us know you're watching the replay. Let us know you'll be there at the launch. Ask, and if you want to get a book prior to the launch, let us know that in the comments, and we can take care of that. All right. You all be blessed, and we'll talk to you all soon. Good night.